What's going on, boys and girls? Broad Street Bully, live and direct, straight out the streets of Philadelphia. Today, we're going to talk about the most important Eagles of 2023 for the Eagles to make the playoff and basically achieve what it is they need to achieve this year. These are the top 10 most important Eagles for 2023. If these 10 Eagles come through, I believe not only will the Eagles win the division title, I believe we're going to go very far in the playoffs because I believe that we have the second best team in the NFC. Not the NFC East, but the NFC, period. If you look at our roster, now all we got to do is hopefully that these players come together. You feel what I'm saying? All right, number 10. The most important Eagle for us to have a successful 2023 year is Nick Sirianni, because the Eagles won 9 games last year and Nick Sirianni was a rookie. But if he would have coached better the first 6 games of the season, we could have won at least 11 games easy, maybe even 12 if he would have ran the ball better in the first 6 games of the season. Because remember, they kept throwing and we was losing games. But if he would have had a balanced offense, or at least run the ball, lean towards the run, because we had a rookie receiver, and our receiving core was not the best. And Jalen Hurts, that was his first year starting. So he depended on Jalen Hurts and our receiving core, and they wasn't getting it done. Devontae Smith was our best receiver by far, clearly. So our running back and our offensive line was our bread and butter. And when they start going to that, we start winning games. If he would have did that earlier in the season, we could have won more games. So he must start off the season right. He must do what he needs to do in order to win games. Simple. So he's number 10. Number 9 is Jordan Davis, because he's our number 1 draft pick. And if he can have the season that everybody thinks that he can have, he ain't got to have no Pro Bowl season. Just have an impact. Just have an impact and keep the linebackers clean. Keep the offensive linemen off the linebackers. Him and, Fletcher Cox. If Jordan Davis can do what we think he can do, what he's been doing in college, if he can bring that in the first year of his NFL rookie season, you don't have to be spectacular. Just do what you normally do and keep the linebackers clean. And that's not a sexy job. You're not going to get a lot of praise for it. But if he can do that, then we're going to have a successful season. Number 8. I'll put this as 8, but it's very important. Haason Reddick. If he can bring 10 to 13 sacks this season for the Philadelphia Eagles and do what we paid him to do. We gave him $30 million. If he can do what we paid him to do, right, then that's going to contribute to our defense. And if he can do what we think he can do and bring pressure, that's going to contribute to the safeties and the cornerbacks being wonderful this year and playing a good job on defense. Because last year, Jonathan Gannon would play 10 yards off. He wasn't getting any pressure like that, and they would just pick us apart. So we got 2 number 1 safeties, 2 Pro Bowl safeties, 2 Pro Bowl cornerbacks. And if Haason Reddick can do what we think he can do, that's going to play a big part in us, winning this year. Kyzir White, number 7. Kyzir White. We haven't had decent linebacking play in a very long time. Very long time. If he can bring what we think he can bring to the table, I believe he's going to make the Pro Bowl this year, in my personal opinion. If he can just bring good linebacker play, sticking the tight ends and doing what we need him to do in the coverage, in the zone, that's going to contribute to us having a good year. Number 6, Devontae Smith. Devontae Smith had a hell of a season last year. If he can step up and do what we think he can do, and add on to the season he had last year, and take advantage of the fact that we have a number one receiver now where they don't have to double team him. He can go one-on-one with people. That's going to contribute to us winning a lot of games this year. And I think he can do it. Number 5, James Bradberry. This is the first time we had 2 number 1 corners in a very long time. That possibly they both can make the Pro Bowl if James Bradberry do what he needs to do and bring success to the secondary. Because if he can do that, if he can bring that play, that physical play, if he can bring that number 1 corner play, sky's the limits for this team. Really, sky's the limit. Number 4. This is number 4, but to me, oh man. Woo! Jonathan Gannon. Last year, people were saying, well, for the last couple years, not only Jonathan Gannon, but Jim Schwartz, people say, oh, they can't play the defense they want to play because they don't have, talent. You have talent now. You have the most talent you had since the Super Bowl year. So, basically, no excuses for Jonathan Gannon. He has to get it done. And if he can get it done and do what we paid him to do and stop the opposing offense, it's going to be a hell of a season. Top 3. Number 3 is Miles Sanders. All we need him to do is not get hurt. Not get hurt. Because when he don't get hurt, he bring it to the field. He bring his A game. He get it done. He really does. He's so much better than the other running backs on this team. It's not even funny. It's not even close. So if he can just do if he can just not get hurt and play his position, that's going to contribute to us having a successful season. Top 2. Number 2 is A.J. Brown. If A.J. Brown could come in and be the number 1 receiver, we haven't had a number 1 receiver since Alshon Jeffrey. You know what I mean? And we haven't had a number 1 receiver that played like a number 1 season since the Super Bowl season. So if he could come in and give us that Pro Bowl touch and be who we paid him to be, that's going to contribute big for the offense in general. Number 1 is Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts has got to do and step up. Because, it's a lot of criticism for Jalen Hurts. It really is. But he made the playoffs. You can't argue with a man that made the playoffs last year. You can't argue with that. So if he can come in and add on to the season he had last year and play and add it on and play a little bit better from the pocket, the sky's the limit for this team. Simple as that. The sky's the limit for this team. Is the reason why these national pundits and analysts is picking the Eagles to win the NFC East, and some actually winning the NFC. So let's get it done. Broad Street Bully signing off.